Thank you. Next is Rami ben Efraim.
Madam Chair, honorable members, thank you for inviting me to speak today. My name is Rami ben Efraim, and I'm the founder of BNF Group, an Israeli technology consortium focused on helping democracies stay strong in the age of AI. Our group includes Planet 9, which tracks disinformation across Chinese and Russian platforms, Spring AI, which maps and detects algorithmic bias in social media, and fMRI, which helps us introspect LLMs like MRI or brain scan for AI. Today, I want to highlight 3 urgent threats AI poses to democracies based on real-life cases we have monitored and show how we can respond if we only make visibility our immediate priority. Let's start with geopolitics. It's 2025. We are again in an era of wars. Countries are increasing their defense budgets and putting their military forces on higher alerts. Yet while we deploy soldiers to our borders and police to our streets, our digital space is left undefended as a no man's land. This vacuum is exploited by foreign malign forces, many of them Russian, Chinese, and Iranians, which are operating with armies of bots and botnets. They are spreading disinformation and deepfakes, collecting data on our citizens, and amplifying polarizing messages to weaken trust in our democracies. Xi Jinping has stated years ago that the information warfare is the main battlefield. It doesn't mean he is not investing in his military capabilities. It means that if Taiwan can be swallowed quietly without the need to shoot even one single bullet, then so it be. The Taiwanese call it the cognitive warfare and share with us the simple short messages their young generation and others are receiving. Why choose war? Be part of the mainland. Or you vote DPP, you vote for war. And it does the impact. China and Russia have both the skill and the scale. They also have a long-term strategy to weaken our democracies and to create chaos. The EUDS committee has the deep know-how about their capabilities and intentions, so I would just add this. Today, with generative AI, the information warfare moves to a new phase. It is now AI-generated content amplified into social networks. New pace, new scale, much more sophistication. So how do we address this? The first building block we are investing in with our government partners is the visibility. It means that besides monitoring Western platforms, such as Facebook, Instagram, and X, we now need to cover every Chinese and Russian platform and application. We need to be able to see everything. Public content in real time, coordinated influencing operations, the flow of information across borders and domains, everything. When you design your Iron Dome, you first have to be able to detect the missiles that are launched towards you. Only then you can put up the sirens, send your citizens to shelters, and plan your counterstrike. The challenge of visibility might sound easy to you, but remember that the digital space, as well as the users, are moving very fast. 19 January 2025 was the day that TikTok was supposed to go dark in the US. On the same week, Xiao Hongshu, also known as Little Red Book, or RED, became the most downloaded app in the US. Americans needed an alternative and proved that regulation by itself is not a solution. At the same period, Lemon 8 by ByteDance quietly re-entered the market. The message from Beijing was clear. You close the door, we will come through the window. Visibility is the name of the game. Visibility wherever information warfare might appear. Today it's social networks and media platforms. Tomorrow it's autonomous cars, computer gaming, and robotics. We must cover all domains and potential attack surfaces. We must take back the controls and govern our digital space. Some of you might think now of the balance between privacy and security, or see this as the big brother. Yet we must remember this. Freedom of speech was given to human beings, not to machines. I will repeat it again. It was given to human beings and not to bots, botnets, or AI agents. The second urgent challenge, after covering the Chinese and the Russian platforms, is the algorithmic bias in social networks. The recent New York City primary, with the victory of Zohar and Mamdani, raised speculations about possible algorithmic bias by TikTok. These are the similar accusations we've heard in Romania in November 2024. Let's put the facts aside for a second. The situation in which people raise up fears and conspiracy theories without the ability to agree on facts is now the main threat. If we lose confidence in our democratic processes and institutions, if people will not trust the clean, transparent, well-audited election process, then democracies will start to collapse. This is why we've decided to dive deeply into the algorithms and to understand how they operate. We are providing our government partners, without the need the social networks to send the data, a nationwide picture of algorithmic bias. We are showing what are the narratives that TikTok promotes and what does the algorithm suppresses. This is essential to understand if a tsunami of disinformation is on the way and to prepare accordingly. This is the data that will prove if the New York City elections are clean and fair. This is the evidence that will show how malign forces are trying to change the hearts and the minds of our people. And this is the second line of visibility and defense that we need. And the less urgent need is visibility and transparency to AI agents. The AI revolution is here. Google is out. It's now the time of chatbots. ChatGPT, Claude, Mistral, Qwen by Alibaba, DeepSeek, and many more to come. Our young generation sees the world now through the lens of LLMs. In the recent US presidential elections, we were asked to examine whether a major LLM was subtly manipulating political content. We hooked our fMRI technology, which is a kind of an MRI to AI models, and after a few checks, we came back with this disturbing answer. Yes, the LLM is biasing systematically against the Republican figures. It was not only Trump, it was an embedded bias which pushed everything against all Republicans, former presidents, congressmen and women, at both the federal and the state level. So LLMs, the new god of knowledge, who are supposed to provide us with the subjective truth, are not neutral. They embed bias, they can discriminate, they can be jailbroken, and in the hands of malign actors, they can quietly shape minds without users even knowing. So what should we do? Yes, you already understand my line of thought. Visibility. Full visibility to these large brains. MRI for AI that maps all neurons at all layers and detects biases, jailbreaks, hallucinations, and backdoors. And again, we have to dive as deep as we can. We have to monitor the circuits, to be able to understand the chain of thought and to prevent the LLM from generating an answer which is not aligned with our Western values. A teenager in 2035 will run many of his daily life activities through an AI model. Are we willing that the model builders will control the minds of our children? Are we willing that malign actors will define the values embedded in the minds of our children and indoctrinate them? To conclude my testimony today, I would say this. Foreign malign actors, primarily China and Russia, are controlling our digital space. The information warfare is an existential risk for democracies. Our actions cannot rely on regulation only. We have to start with a clear strategy, which includes today's challenges, but also to envision tomorrow's threats. The EU Democracy Shield should be designed as the continent's Iron Dome, with a visibility first. It must have full coverage of all Chinese and Russian platforms and apps, nationwide visibility to algorithmic bias in social networks, an MRI and a brain scan capability for AI agents. This is beyond clean elections. It's about sovereignty. It's about protecting the minds and the freedoms of the next generation. Let's take back the control of our digital space. Let's again be one step ahead. Thank you.